everybody. Happy Sunday afternoon. How is everyone doing out there in the YouTube land, YouTube world? What's going on, y'all? Hold on a second. Okay, how y'all doing? What's going on, everybody? I hope you guys are having a good weekend thus far. We're going to try to stay focused and talk about Murdaugh for about an hour or so, guys. You know, I don't know, maybe go longer than that. There is so much information out here. You know, I wish I would have covered this from the beginning, but hey, we had a whole lot of other things going on, y'all. But there's nothing wrong with going back and reviewing to see just how did this legal dynasty fall? What happened? Hey, Kizzy, how you doing? Welcome in. Thank you so very much. I appreciate the support. Thank you for being here. Let me go ahead and put this up there you go. Because I will be using content. Thank you, Miss Lorraine has been sending me some great video clips. All of you. I'm gonna have another show where I just do news stories, just news stories from around the US because Kizzy sends me a lot of clips. All of you guys send me a lot of stuff, but I got a lot of them that I just want to do, and it'll just be just like, you know, just a news hour so I can cover all these different types of stories. But Murdaugh, on the Murdaugh stuff, I just want it to be strictly Murdaugh, okay? And hopefully the steam will pick up and, you know, it'll get in the algorithm. Everybody will hit the like button, leave a comment, and help it out. All right. You know, sometimes things start out slow, but we're going to keep it going. Shout out to, I don't know why I always forget her name. Sorry. Charge it to my age, honey. But, you know, you suggested that I talk about this and cover this because no one over here was talking about the Murdaugh trial. So we're definitely going to continue to do it. Taste Kitchen. Hey, Miss Alice, how you doing? So yeah, guys, Tommy cooked some smoked neck bones. I cooked some greens and with smoked turkey in it, and candy yams, meatloaf, cornbread. I think I'm gonna do some macaroni and cheese later. But anywho, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I want to start with, you know, what the family had a lot going on, but one of the things was there was a boat crash. The Murdaugh boat crash, dash cam and audio. Okay, Murdaugh murder. Now his son Paul that he murked was the one that crashed this boat. Okay, let's see what this says. Well, hopefully it don't take me away from it. Let me see if it'll show. Okay, this is actually from that podcast that I follow. They did an excellent job on the Murdaugh trial, honey. They covered it from the rooter to the tutor. So I actually put their link in my description. Give them credit because I'm definitely using their content, and they covered this. They covered it. So let me see if this is gonna play. If there's anything on here, hold on. I guess this is just a damn. It may not have any sound.
The civilians are underneath the bridge, still in the boat.
The most severe of the injured is on the boat underneath the bridge. You'll have to walk down to.
The most severe injured.
Hey, Miss Lorraine.
So after y'all hit the bridge, did y'all beach the boat up there on the side of the thing, or did the boat? That's where it ended.
So this is footage from the boat crash. His son Paul, whose life he deleted. You know, they say that boat crash caused a lot of problems for the family, and people started looking and it started opening up windows into all of the crimes that they had been committing, and he was just trying to get some of the heat off, so he deleted the son.
Okay. Y'all think y'all hit one of the markers that in the beginning of it?
Sure.
Okay.
Can I use your phone? Can I use your phone?
Hey, bro, I ain't got my phone on me, brother.
You ain't got your phone on you?
No, you dropped yours in the grass right back there.
That don't surprise me.
Okay. Have you been checked out? By name list? Hey, buddy. You been checked out by name list?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Sure. I think we should still get checked out, right?
Yeah, I'm fine. I mean, shit.
What's your last name, buddy?
Murdaugh.
M-U.
R-D-A-U-G-H.
Okay, what's your first name?
Paul.
Paul, P-A-U-L?
Shit.
Yeah.
So they find Mallory. Hey,
We're looking right now for it. They're down there looking, okay?
but they got a good search on it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But they probably don't find it.
They're gonna find it, okay?
Don't think.
This boat crash happened February 24th, 2019, and he was drunk, the young boy, allegedly.
They're down there looking right now, okay?
You know they got a good search, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they got a good team down there looking for it, okay?
Can I use your phone?
I don't have my phone on me, buddy.
Here.
Hey, here, stay right here. I'm gonna go get that one you dropped on the ground back there, all right?
Yes, sir.
You got it already? Yeah. So there was 6 total people. Okay. They hit, I think, one of the bridge pile, and where you see the boat is where it ended up.
Okay.
One of the young ladies got ejected. She still has not been found. Tide's going out, and we tried walking down the marsh for a little ways to find her. But the young lady down there, I think,
You gotta listen close.
so far of the people that we have, the 5 that we have.
Okay. So we got 5, 6 total, 5 accounted for.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Tide's going out, and they were running this way when they hit the bridge, so she probably got ejected, and the current carried her down that way.
I did find a county out of Hampton, correction, a deal out of Hampton County for that.
I'm about to drive down there. I done been in the back of one. You're not going in no cups. Get in the car.
Careful out
Come on. I need you. Yes, come on. You're not going. You're not in trouble. I done told you that. You're in trouble. I can put you in cups right now. Come on. Did they find Mallory? You're not. Just sit right here. I'm not close.
And
I'm gonna get you a seat.
you can hear Alex, I believe, saying, did they find Mallory? They're looking for, there was 6 people, and they were saying that 1 had not been found. I believe they say 5 had been accounted for. This is my first time watching this. This is from the New York Post, but it's also, this article is on the New York Post, and this video is from the Murdaugh Murders podcast.
Sit right there. Sit right here. You got everybody coming out here. You're my concern, okay? I'm fine. No, you're not. Listen, Pete. I'm here for you. All right. Me and you, we're chilling. I understand you're upset. I ain't about to sit here and tell you to calm down, okay? But I'm gonna get you a cigarette.
I'm working.
Fire, they can bring their thermal.
Come out 14.
Listen, man, my mom works for Sled. Okay, listen, that's cool. I done told you you're not in trouble. Do you want to call that? I need to call her. I need to call her. Go, you can go down there.
Is that him saying my mom works for so-and-so?
Is there a D-Long on the boat? A what? Elena? No. Huh? No, that's Elena DeLong from Ridgeland. It's not her.
Is that the son talking?
Her friend down there is bleeding.
I believe it is. He sounds like his daddy.
Mom, y'all need to come and be for quick. We hit a bridge in the boat. Connor's fucked up. Connor's messed up bad.
He say, Mom, Dad, y'all need to come. We hit a dam or a bridge. He say, Connor is effed up. That's the son, Paul, and he's drunk. He was driving that boat drunk and crashed. And this started a lot. He sounds like his dad. He sounds like his daddy. Oh, he sound like that man. Okay, let's continue listening.
Dad, we can't find Mallory. Morgan's messed up bad. We can't find Mallory. Where we at?
We're at Paris Island.
Paris Island Bridge.
No, it's just tell you come to entrance to Paris Island. She's going missing.
Paris Island. Entrance to Paris Island. Entrance to Paris Island.
Yep, he's definitely drunk.
Come on, there's
50 cops out here. Everybody shit up. I said, there's 50 cops out here. And one of the cops is nice enough to let me call you. Mom, there's 50 cops here, Coast Guard, everything. We can't find Mallory. It's been 30.
You say, Mom, there's 50 cops out here. One of them was nice enough to let me call you, and we can't find Mallory. I believe, does anyone know? Because I don't know yet. Did Mallory did she get deleted? Was she one of the ones that lost her life there? Okay, so this is the boat crash from 2019. Paul Murdaugh, the son, who they say was AD&D and this, that, and the other. The father said, oh, he was just, he had clothes everywhere. He just didn't know what he wanted to do in life. He was evidently drunk and driving the boat. And I believe Mallory lost her life. And he's saying, we can't find Mallory. There's 50 cops here, Mom. The Coast Guard. We're at I forgot where he said they were at. And he said one of them was nice enough to let me call you. Hey, Regina, welcome in. Okay, let's get back to this. This is from the boat crash, the Murdaugh boat crash.
30 minutes.
Murder.
You probably need to call Mr. Hay or Mr. Phillips.
Alpha 14 is that.
Hey, there's one's injured on the boat all the way down there. I don't know if EMS knows all that, but
So
all
we're
the way
DNR
down.
loading now. They're giving an ETA of 20 minutes.
And he didn't get hurt.
Hello?
Ain't that something?
Hey, it's open out. All right, right. Your son's not in trouble or anything right now. Like I said, he's very, as you have the right to do, shop right now. I don't know. You probably do need to end up eventually coming down there.
We're just listening to the call.
You told me you're in law enforcement. Okay. All right. Yes, man. We're here.
That police you hear in the background is talking to Alec. He's talking to the dad. He's saying the son told me. He told me you're in law enforcement. See, they were using their power and that badge that they've carried in that county, that town, for over 100 years. They've held power. They've been putting people in jail, and now the time has come full circle. It's time for them to answer to some of the crimes they've been committing. And this young Murdaugh, Paul, had just crashed a boat driving drunk, and Mallory could not be found, and there were others that were injured. And one of the police allowed him to call his mom, or his parents, I would say. And you can hear another police in the background talking to Alec. And they say that this crash really started bringing a lot of heat on the family and started people talking, hey, Lemon Pepper, thank you for stopping by. I know this may not be a lot of the content that a lot of people watch, but they spent 8 days searching for Mallory. On March the 3rd, 2019, 2 volunteers found her body. See, I didn't even know that. Yeah, I'm learning this. We're going to learn this together, and we can research it together. Thank you for the chat report, the on-site chat reporters we got out there. So let me go to that comment. Where is that comment at down there? They spent 8 days looking for Mallory. On March the 3rd, 2019, 2 volunteers found her body. So, yes, he was a known alcoholic. You know them young, and I mean a stereotype, but sometimes, people have money, but you could be poor and be a drunk and do drugs, but they become accustomed to a certain lifestyle, and it just happens. So let's finish listening to this call from that night. This is from the night of the boat crash. Okay, this is actual footage.
Like I said, I'll let you come see your son too. I got him pretty much as calm as I could get him. I totally understand. So me and him, I'll be hanging out with him the entire time. Okay. Just Google Paris Island. Yeah, just
Paris Island.
Paris Island, the main entrance gate. Is we're around the main road. It's one way in, one way out. You will not miss us. Just Google Paris Island. Yeah, the Marine Corps base. Like I said, something there. We're soon to come through the little first gate.
Oh, okay.
We're on the main road. You won't miss us.
Get that motherfucker right there away from me.
Oh, he had Oh, yes. You could definitely tell that he thought he shouldn't even be questioned for wrecking a boat and taking someone's life. Did you hear him? Get that motherfucker away from me. I mean, may he rest in peace. Oh, my. I thought he was a little sickly or something. He talks with some, he talks like he got good sense. Wait a minute, I want to hear that again. Let me wind that back. Hold on. Let me go back a few. Let me play that again. Let me play that clip again. Hold on.
Wait for me.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, the Marine Corps base, like I said, coming through there, or as soon as you come through the little first gate. We're on the main road. You won't miss us.
Get that motherfucker right there away from me.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. That's Mallory right there in the middle. Did y'all hear him? Paul, may you rest in peace. Your father took your life. Y'all get that MFO. I wonder who he was referring to. Was it a police officer? Let's continue to listen to this, honey. This is from the night of the boat crash from 2019. This is actual boat crash, dash, cam, and audio. Okay, I'm getting this through the Murdaugh Mystery Podcast.
Yes, ma'am. We'll be.
Hey, Miss Jackie.
Talking about that one with no shirt on. Hey, do not. I don't want you getting in trouble. You hear me? Listen, we get in no trouble. You hear what I said? Mom's on the way. I told her I'm gonna keep you listening.
Wait a minute. Oh, he finna curse again. That was Mallory's boyfriend, Lemon Pepper, that was coming up towards him. Oh, Regina. Okay. Okay. That's Mallory right there, guys. The elite and the rich.
Let me try this. I'm hanging with you.
Conrad.
You're not in trouble.
You ain't gonna get no fucking trouble.
Oh, yes.
Bro, you fucking smiling like it's fucking funny.
Sit down.
My fucking girlfriend gone, bro. You think it's fucking funny?
Sit down.
Hope he's right fucking hell.
Sit down. Hey, somebody put him in the car. The one with the towel.
So wait a minute. Okay. Thank you, Regina, for sharing it out. So was Mallory Paul's girlfriend? Because he just say whoever, I think that was, isn't that Paul talking? He say, it's not funny. My girlfriend's gone. Well, who's Conrad? There's so many videos, y'all. We're just gonna have to learn this together. And if you don't like the way we're doing it over here, Mallory deceased from blunt force trauma and drowning per CNN. Okay. Comedian Michael Allen finding love. Hello. Hey, comedian Michael Allen. Comedian Michael Allen finding love. I heard that. Oh, cooking, comedy, custody, and cocktails. We over here, we solving cold cases over here, Michael. You know, they say I solve cold cases. There's a soundbite for you. But this is okay. Mallory, was that Paul's girlfriend? Thank you for showing love. I need all the love I can get around here. They spent, yes. Conrad, okay, Conrad was, so that was Paul telling them to get Conrad out of his face. And so was Paul laughing? Okay, let me go back to this, honey, because this here is, it's just too much.
Go ahead. Where's your cigarette at? Where's your cigarette? You need another one? Here. I ain't got a lot now. Don't waste them. Here. Hold the cigarette, and I got you. He's going away. Don't even look at him. You're going to put him in the car. All right.
You know, ago, a year ago. Me and her got in a wreck together. Yeah. And I thought she was dead. Man. She was dead.
Said, how old
And
are you?
she lived, dude. I'll be 21 in 3 days. Yeah.
He said he'd be 21 in 3 days.
What about the driver of the boat? She 21?
No.
Is everybody on the boat's been drinking?
Yeah.
Especially the driver?
I beg to drive that
But
fucking
the
boat.
driver, how much has he had to drink tonight?
Dude, I can tell you this much. We left, I don't even know where the fuck we were.
Mhm.
We left and stopped fucking downtown Buford. And me and them about fought on the fucking dock because I told him not to go up there to that fucking bar that we need to be going home.
Downtown? How are y'all drinking down there and none of y'all
Hell, I wasn't. I stayed on the damn boat.
But he was drinking actually at the bar?
I reckon. I didn't go up there.
So y'all came from downtown through the creek, and that's when he was going way too fast?
So I don't even know. I finally got
And
to
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I thought I think this may be Conrad talking and not Mallory was just 19. Oh my Lord. Because he said he was gonna be 21.
In my lap in the bottom of the boat and was holding on with my eyes closed. The next thing I know, I'm in the fucking water.
Can you feel that heat in there?
Dude, I'm not.
I know. Well, if you are, your adrenaline's up. You can't feel it. Smoke a cigarette.
Smoke a cigarette.
Well, it's alright. Don't start, but it's okay to have one now.
Is there anybody in the water a little bit more?
Yes, we got MRO, we got DNR, fire department's got their boats in the water.
David Jackie.
Coast Guard is on the way with the chopper. DNR's en route. Alright?
She's at the bottom of the river.
They're gonna have a dive team. We got a dive team, we got a bunch of resources. Okay? Regardless, like I told you, regardless of the outcome, we will find her. Alright? But you just gotta keep faith that she's somewhere on the bank or
Wow. I gotta find out more about this boat crash.
Where'd y'all put in at?
Chelsea Island.
Chelsea out of Kalawasi?
The only island on Chelsea. Yeah. Y'all know Alex Murdaugh?
Oh yeah, I know that name.
That's his son.
That's so driving the boat.
Good luck.
Woo! Okay. He say, y'all know Alex Murdaugh? That's his son. Good luck. So this, I had it wrong. Look, I can say when I was wrong. This is Conrad doing all this talking. I have to play this again. This is Conrad. That was Conrad. And honey, he is pissed at Paul. And he said, do y'all know Alex Murdaugh? That's his son. Good luck. Ooh. When the elite get pissed at each other.
Hey, Keith. Driver is the one with no clothes on, correct?
To be honest with you,
The one you were getting mad at back there. He was in his drawers.
he was the last one driving whenever I got down in the Florida boat and held on my
Boxers.
girlfriend. Yes.
You need another cigarette, right, Bo?
That's my dude with the busted mouth eye.
He's still got clothes on, correct?
Yeah.
Alright, that's what. Yeah, they're good. Everybody's good physical wise. Okay, but I just wanted we need to know exactly who's driving. And that's you said that's the last one you saw, so that's why I told them because his ass will be responsible. Okay, you hear me? Don't worry about that. We're gonna handle on that end. Okay. All right. So sure.
Mm.
Yes.
Hey, I'm with Department of Natural Resources. Who was driving the boat?
Right, I'll fix them.
The last time I grabbed my girlfriend and got down in the bottom of the boat, Paul was driving. Paul was driving?
Yes.
I begged and begged and begged and begged to let me
Stand by 1
drive.
second.
Uh-huh. Where were y'all coming from? Paul,
So he's saying he begged and begged and begged Paul to let him drive, but Paul was the last one driving it, and I'm about to put up something. He was charged with this. Thank you, Kizzy, for sending me this little information. Yeah, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back into this boat crash because this is. I mean, they've been committing a lot of crimes. Once all of this really came out, they've been stealing money. I got another story I'm going to cover where he took money from this man. He would get people settlements and wouldn't tell them he'd gotten their settlements for their cases and spend their money. Oh, he was Alex a mess, money hungry, just money. Didn't know how to live without money, so used to having it, so, wouldn't know what to do if they ever lost it. And that's just facts. I mean, I'm not making it up. Let me take this away. I'll go ahead and continue to plan this for you.
Huh? Paulky? Okay. And Paul was driving, not Connor? If Connor was driving, it happened after I had done flip
Battalion 1
out and laid
with the
down
fire
in the bottom
department
of
that's
the
looking
boat.
for DNR.
They were both sitting on the front seat. You were laying in the front, the bottom, no, the back of the bottom of the boat before you hit. Yes. Okay, and Paul and Connor were sitting on right on behind the console. Yes.
I can get a better
I had done fought with both of them for 30 minutes about letting me drive, and both of them thought it was fucking funny. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna do everything we can to find her. Okay. Appreciate it. Yes.
So see, this trial, this was hanging over their heads. Paul was going to have to stand trial for this. Paul was charged with 2 counts of voting under the influence with great bodily injury and 1 count of voting under the influence causing death. He pled not guilty and never stood trial because he was deleted alongside his mother by his father on June 7, 2021. He was 22 years old at the time of his demise. And this accident happened in 2019. So his ooh. Okay. Well, he was about to say something else.
All of them since I was a kid.
He said he's known all of them since he was a kid. Okay, guys. And thank you for sending me this clip right here, kids, of this little clip. Yes, he was charged, but, he was deleted, so he can't go to trial, of course. Wow. All right. Give me a minute. Let me pull up the next thing that I want to show, guys. There's so much. All right. Hold on a second. Let me move that clip out the way. Okay, guys. Hey, Miss Foley, how you doing? What's going on? Thank you for stopping by. That was Mallory's boyfriend, and he was pissed. He was pissed. Paul was abusive. Well, but that wasn't Paul talking, but that was somebody, that was the boyfriend, I believe. But he had a right to be upset because Mallory was missing. And as we all know now, she is deceased. Hello, Julia. How you doing? Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Okay, Mallory deceased from blunt force trauma and drowning. Yeah, she was thrown from that boat. Okay. Comedian Michael Allen finding love. He's looking for love. Gone, Michael. I know that's right, honey. Find you some love. Yeah, okay. They say, hey, CMA, I'm showing love. Thank you for stopping by. Over here, you see, I need all the help I get. I ain't got but 27 people in here. I'm struggling over here. Oh, goodness. Okay, y'all. All right, let's get to the next one. So this right here, what we're going to watch. Alex Murdaugh juror tells all how the jury knew the disgraced lawyer murked his family. Let's listen to someone who they went back there and they deliberated. He deliberated after taking all those notes and watching him cry and all this, that, and the other. They were able to find that guilty verdict. So now what we just watched was a clip from the night that the son that he deleted had the boat crash, which a lot of people say is what really started putting the heat on the family, because it started bringing attention to them and people started finding out all of the dirty deeds they had been doing. And the son had deleted someone's, it was an accident, but he was drunk and driving the boat. We're talking about Alex Murdaugh. This is juror number 530 right here. His name is James. Okay, we're doing this under Section 107 of the Copyright Act, where allowance is made for fair use for the purposes such as criticism, commentary, and news reporting and teaching and scholarship, which is what we're doing over here today. We're doing a reaction video. People react to video. Wait a minute. People react to videos all the time. We're not bullying. We're not stalking. We're not harassing. We're learning. We're having a discussion. Okay, let's continue.
Did you realize it was going to be this case?
So I wasn't positive, but we were given a questionnaire. So a lot of those questions kind of pertain to the case in some way. So I didn't know for certain, but I did think that it was going to be this case.
When you finally got to court and you realized it was, what kind of were your thoughts?
I don't really think I had any thoughts. It was just, I was there to do my civic duty, and I really didn't think that I would be chosen. I had heard that there was 900 some people that were given, the questionnaire and everything. So out of 900, I didn't really think that I'd be chosen.
Was the Murdaugh case something that everybody talked about around here?
Hey, QST.
Something that was just kind of something that happened, and I don't know. What is your take on that?
I think that it was talked about a fair amount.
Thank you, Little Pepper.
I actually work over in Charleston, and I've been up in Clemson at school, so I haven't really been in the area for like the past 4 years. So, it's something that you hear about, but it's not something that I have so many other things going on. It's not something that I dedicated a lot of my time talking about or paying attention to.
You said you went to Clemson?
Yes.
Right? Oh, okay. So you graduated?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I ask how old you are?
22.
Oh, okay. Oh my gosh. So you're around Paul Murdaugh's age.
Yeah. Well, I would have been the same age as him in 2021, as far as whenever he passed away.
So let's talk about the verdict. We've heard reports. You guys deliberated for 2 hours and 50 minutes. I went upstairs last night to figure out what was going on, and somebody said, yeah, we asked them if they wanted dinner, and they said, no, we'll be done in 10 minutes. So it went fairly quickly for a 6-week trial. Can you take us inside the room a little bit?
Well, I will say that whenever, we had asked if we wanted dinner, we were actually rounding up our last few questions that anybody had. So it wasn't that we already had an answer. It was more so that we knew that the questions that we had answers to. We just wanted to talk through them and make sure they made sense. So we just needed that extra 10, 30 minutes. I think it was about 30 minutes that we actually took. And it wasn't that, we had already had the decision, but we knew that we were right there at it.
Y'all, this is juror number 530 from the Murdaugh trial, and he's telling how they knew that Murdaugh had deleted his wife and his son. Okay, let's continue listening. Thank you, guys. Please make sure you hit the like button. It'll help us to get in the algorithm, and people will see what we're doing, and it'll just start filling up over here. Hello, sweet Rita, Lisa's girl. Eric, welcome in, y'all. Thank y'all for supporting me. I appreciate it.
2 hours and 50 minutes. What went on, in the beginning? going through the instructions?
Well, we had a pretty good idea of what the instructions were just because the judge read them to us. But I would say when we first got in there, what was important to us was just to see where everybody was at and make sure if everybody was on the same page. Maybe we just need to talk through things, make sure that it all makes sense to everybody. But we did have a few that weren't on the same page.
I don't know if you guys have ever been a juror. I've been a juror. And, you know, normally when you get in there after you've been dismissed to go deliberate, you take a quick little poll to see who's where, you know, on a white piece of paper, guilty or not guilty or whatever, after you've picked your foreman and all of that good stuff. And that's what he's talking about. You know, they're going to get a feel to just see who's all on board, who's not. And then once you do that, then you have to start convincing the people who's holding out, you know, or they have to convince you as to come on their side, or you know, you got to get them to come on your side. You know, why do you think he's not guilty? What is it that you're not getting? Did you not hear him at the scene of the crime moments before his wife and son was deleted? How can you overlook that? That's the type of stuff they were going to be doing. All right. I'm teaching and learning over here, okay?
So we did like an anonymous vote at the beginning just to see where everybody was at. And once we found that out, we kind of just opened the floor for anybody who ever had questions, and then we would talk through those. We had the evidence in the other room. So if we had questions regarding a certain thing, we were able to refer back, and we just went one question at a time. We didn't want anybody to not be able to say anything, so we did take turns speaking. So anybody was talking over anybody. If anybody left, we made sure to wait until they could come back. We didn't want anybody to be left out or anybody to miss any piece of information. I think that's all.
Yeah. So it doesn't sound like it was contentious at all.
I think more so than somebody being dead set on one thing or the other. We all, I think, were very good in taking all the evidence and not jumping to any conclusions, but rather taking all the evidence and seeing where it led us. Whenever we got to the end and there were some people that weren't convinced, I don't think it was so much that they knew that he was not guilty as they just weren't sure yet. They might not have known answers to certain questions. So that's when it really took that 2 hours to kind of walk through something they might not understand, go back to the evidence, go back and see what somebody said about something and answer those questions for those people. Like I said,
See, that's what he's saying. There were some people that just weren't quite there and they just needed some questions answered. They needed to be reminded. They needed confirmation. And that's what you do when you're deliberating as jurors. And sometimes you get into heated arguments because people, as you guys know from just being in the YouTube streets, people will stand firm on what they believe over here, and people will stand firm on what they believe over here, and they ain't going. And sometimes you can, go to blows in the jury deliberating room. I've seen it. I've witnessed it, shall I say, firsthand.
Wasn't that they knew that he was not guilty, but they just weren't sure, and they needed the answers to those questions, and we were able to get those.
So it was like a 9-3 vote, first vote.
Yes, it was.
Okay. And then slowly, how many votes did you take?
We took one at the beginning. We, like I said, went through all the questions that anybody had, and then at the end we took another vote. And we not only took that other vote, but we went back through beginning to end about all the details and the facts just to make sure that, you know, somebody's story didn't differ from somebody else's. We were all pretty sure that we knew what had happened and we knew who had pulled the trigger. So then we took a vote at the end, and then we took a moment to gather ourselves. We wanted to make sure that everybody they knew what they were going to say as far as what they thought and what their vote was going to be. We didn't want anybody to have any questions. We didn't want anybody to feel nervous about what they were saying or that they weren't sure. And we wanted everybody to make sure that that's what they said because that's how they felt. We didn't want anybody to feel peer pressured or like they had to say something.
What were some of the questions that people had? Because obviously this was a 6-week trial. It was supposed to be free, and you weren't allowed to take notes.
So she just asked him, what were some of the questions that some of the jurors had? This was a 6-week long trial, guys. So we got a lot of stuff we're going to cover on this trial. Yes, we're going back in time. Okay, people tend to do that. They'll go back in time and review stuff from 2-3 years ago. We can do it too. Okay. So we're going to travel back in time. Now she's asking him what were some of the questions that some of the other jurors had that helped them to get everyone to vote and all 12 vote guilty. Because in a trial like this, murder trial, everyone has to be on board. I'm sure you guys know that, but hey, this is for learning and teaching purposes. All right. let's continue.
Yeah, it was very tough, but I will say that everyone in the jury pool, they paid very close attention. That was actually one of our concerns towards the beginning, was not having anything to take down notepads. But in the jury room, we were able to have paper and pens. So if we had any questions, that's kind of where we would write down our questions, and we saved them all the way until deliberation. A lot of times, those questions were answered throughout the trial, so those questions didn't make it to deliberation because they were answered by another witness or somebody else. But we were able to write back there, so we would just have to wait for one of those 15-minute breaks and then jot it down real quick. So that's kind of how we got through that, of not having anything to write it down.
That's really interesting. What were some of the questions people had? I mean, were there some things that the three were thinking, did they have the same questions, or were they just things they couldn't remember? Can you give me an example?
So I think that one of the questions were regarding kind of the gun situation. I think that there was maybe a couple people that weren't very familiar with firearms. So it was, and I completely understand, it's a little hard to understand how you can match a casing to a gun if you don't have that gun. And I think it was important to, realize that they weren't matching a casing to a gun. They were matching a casing to another casing that had been shot.
So some people that weren't familiar with guns, some of the jurors, which I would have been one, were like, how do they know this is the real gun? How can they match the gun, the casings to the gun, if they don't have it? They were like, we're matching casings to casings. And some of you gun owners know what that is. Click, click, you'll know what that is. Okay, I had to throw that in there. Some of you will know what that is.
By the same gun, and we knew that the gun that shot one of those casings had been seen by one of the witnesses that Paul was shooting that gun with his friend. So then that both those casings had been cycled through the same gun, and that casing was at the crime.
So Paul had been shooting that gun with a friend, and the jury says, hey, those casings match. Logic tells you that.
So that's how you're able to place that gun at the crime scene and know that it's a family gun.
When you got out there and you did you look at him? What was that like?
So throughout the entire trial, one of the things that I wanted to do, just because I felt like it would benefit me, is watch both sides, both the prosecution and the defense, and see what their reactions were to certain things that were said. So my eyes were constantly going from prosecution to defense to the witness. I wanted to see everybody's reactions and how people were taking things, what their responses were.
Thank you,
so
Tina.
Whenever we got out there to, express what our verdict was, I wanted to watch and see how the defense and the defendant reacted. So I know that I'd heard somebody say that was in the audience that we never looked, but I know that for me, I looked at the defense. I wanted to see what the reaction was.
Was there anything that stood out?
I think that the only thing that stood out to me, and it wasn't shocking to me, but was that there was no reaction. It was just a straight face.
The kennel video, how important was that to you? And was it to you? Because
and I have that. We will watch that.
The biggest part, or at least one of the biggest pieces of the state's case.
I think it's a very crucial piece. And
But what type of a person can know that they deleted? I mean, well, we can refer back to the Tim Norman trial, knowing that he put everything in action to have his nephew deleted. And he sat there and then got up on that stand and wrote a script and expected the judge and the jury to believe it. But I was going to just say, what type of a person can sit there and with no emotion and knowing that you took your wife of all those years, as you say, you loved Maggie. She was a good girl. She was a good woman. She took care of those boys. And your own son, your baby boy, the baby boy. Not that it matters. Whew. Okay. Some people just evil.
I think that it's incredible timing as to when they were able to get it. And I think it's incredible timing on Paul's part. I don't think that anyone would have ever known that he was down there if it wasn't for that video. I think that there's a lot of evidence that points towards Alex, but I feel like that does solidify it. He can't, deny that he was there at that point because there's a video that places him there. I think that it speaks a lot that somebody that couldn't speak, somebody that couldn't be a witness was able to, be a witness even after they had passed.
His own son that he deleted had recorded on his phone and caught his father's voice, and that's how they knew he was there. So the dead spoke. The dead, we heard, hey, from the grave, okay, came back from the grave and helped convict his deletioner, the person that deleted his life. He came back from the grave and helped to seal it. Had it not been for that video, you know, there could have been some jurors. You just never be like, well, how can you, who's proving that he's there? Someone could have stolen his gun and used his gun. I mean, you need it because you're putting someone away for life. So you need something that you can sure enough count on. And having that video and audio visual of him being there with those two people moments before he decided to take their life.
Passed away.
I keep saying that the little detective.
But the son that he thought was, oh, so this, that, and the other, he got you. That son helped put you in prison for life, Daddy.
You know, gathered a piece of evidence.
He called him Paw Paw.
Murder investigation.
His nickname for Paul was Paw Paw.
Right.
You know, unwittingly, you know, he was just trying to take a picture of Cash or a video of Cash's tail.
Right.
Were there other pieces of evidence that you thought were really critical?
I think that every piece of evidence was critical. You know, I've heard a lot about when was the point that you really felt like, you know, you were going to sway one way or the other. Yes, and it was very important to me to not make that decision prematurely. So I would say that I never made a decision until after both closing arguments. After I knew that I had all the evidence, I felt confident making a decision, because I think that if you make a decision before you're able to see all the pieces of the puzzle, you know, you may have jumped over, you know, you may have gotten in front of yourself. I think that for me, I am familiar with firearms. So being able to place both of those guns there, and although it was not, the shot shells were not a match to either of the shotguns, it was very interesting that one of the shotguns that happened to be one of Alex's favorite was missing. So that was kind of important to me. It was important to me that they could place both those guns there based off of the matched markings on the shot shells and spent casings. I'd say another piece of evidence that was important to me was his own, you know, time on the witness stand. It was just, there was a lot of things that you were able to gather based off of.
And we will cover his testimony, parts 1 and 2. We will listen to Alex's own testimony. Okay, he got on the stand and did like Tim Norman and just created an entire, it's an illusion. It was an illusion. It's all an illusion for these murkers. Tim's testimony was an illusion, and so was Alex. It was an illusion because they did not tell the truth. I said it and I stand by it.
What he said, how he said it, how he was reacting.
Did he ever make eye contact with you? I kept seeing him look over. I didn't know if he was looking at just a few of the jurors, or did you ever?
So, like I said, I was constantly looking at prosecution, defense, and the witness on the stand throughout the entire trial. Being able to make eye contact with somebody is, I don't know why, but I'll make eye contact with people a lot, especially during the trial. And it was something that I noticed that he very rarely ever made eye contact with me. And I don't know if it was on purpose or if it was just because I always sat all the way on the end. You know, I was kind of away from the rest of the jury once we lost a few alternates. But that was something that I noticed, is just that we didn't make very much eye contact.
Interesting. Did you see tears from him? A lot of people, I saw them sometimes.
Now I'm still learning this case, Lisa Girl 1100. What is the Snapchat video? It's not the smoking gun, the one with him at the kennel, is it? Is there another video I'm missing? I have so many clips people have sent me, and we may be going a little out of order sometime, but that's okay, honey. We still gonna cover it, okay? We gonna cover it over here. We started it first over here. Let that be known. Thank you to Miss Tia. Okay, no one was covering it, but we gonna do it. Thank you, Miss Griggs, for this very sweet message she just sent me. I thank you so much. She just sent me a text message. Thank you very much. I appreciate your continued support. You and Miss Jackie, yes, I do, and all of my supporters. Okay. The one at the tree in the kennel. Okay.
Either watching on television or I'm in the courtroom and his back was headed to me.
Mhm.
Did you see tears?
Yes, I did. I know that some people may have said that he did or didn't, but whenever like I said, I watched a lot of people. There was 6 weeks worth of time where I was just watching people and listening to people, and I would say that there was several times that he was crying. Whether they were genuine or not, I don't know, but I would say that he was crying at certain parts of the trial.
Did you believe anything that he said?
I think that he's good at being able to talk to people. And I think that part of the way that he is able to be so good at talking to people is that he's convincing. And I think that whenever he's convincing himself as well. And I think he's able to do that because he often meshes the truth with a lie. So I think that there was some truth. And I think that it's true that he did love his family. But I think that he also mixes lies in there. And what those are and where you differentiate those, I'm not sure. But I think that at times he was telling the truth, and I think at times he was lying.
Was there a specific point where you thought, I mean, obviously we know he was telling the truth about being down at the kennels, but maybe you felt obviously he didn't tell the truth when he talked about leaving the kennels, because I remember a specific portion of that testimony where Creighton Waters asked him, well, what did you say to Maggie when you left the kennels? Or did you just get on the golf cart and go? Did you catch that when he said things like, well, I would have said, if you were leaving the kennels, I would have said. Did you?
Right. Well, he was saying, I can't remember what I said, but I would have said,
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're saying. He said, well, I would have said bye or something, because I think they were trying to establish how much time he was down there after that video before he went back. And he was saying, well, I would have said bye.
Yeah, I looked it up. So that Snapchat video, and we're going to play. Yeah, it shows the clothes. Before it shows his clothes. Snapchat data, the evidence. Boy, I'm telling you, think you be doing stuff on these phones, all this stuff can be retrieved. Nothing can be ever deleted. Nothing is ever deleted, okay? Ever.
Couldn't have just hauled back to the house. Again, I forget what your question was originally, but
was there anything that in particular that stood out about that? It was probably a bad question on my part. Like, I just noticed that he got really quiet when asked about, well, what did you say to Maggie? Did you say bye, or did you he said something like, I'm out of here, or something like that?
I think that it was pointed out throughout the trial, well, particularly that portion of the trial, that there's a lot of things that he was able to remember vividly, and there was a lot of things that he was not able to recall. And that was something that I paid attention to, because some of the things that he could remember vividly are things that I wouldn't remember tomorrow. And then some of the things that he couldn't remember vividly were things that I wouldn't forget in 10 years. So and whether that's just a difference on what's important to who, whether him and I differ on what we would find priority to remember or what we would kind of, forget about, I don't know. I don't know every person in the world, but I found it interesting, some of the things that he was able to remember and some things that he was not.
So was the testimony, him taking the stand, did that kind of clinch it for you? I mean, you said you didn't make up your mind until the end, until the
yes, they are, Alice.
Mm-hmm.
But was that something major that really was part of your decision?
Like I said earlier, I think that all the evidence, all the witnesses, they were all a major part of the trial. Whether one weighed more than other, I think that there were some things that you could kind of rely on a little bit better. Whenever he did get on the stand, I know that it was very abnormal. I've never been a juror before, and I've never sat through trial before, but I did know that the defendant taking the stand was very abnormal. I wouldn't say that at that point that sealed the deal or anything. I just took what he said. I tried to weigh it both ways. I tried to see if what he was.
He said a defendant taking the stand, is very abnormal, because most of the times their attorneys will keep them off. But like Tim, a narcissist, and like this one right here, wanted to testify, thinking that they could outsmart the jury and the judge. I mean, just think about it. And we also have Miss Jackie Foley here, guys. For those of you that may not know about the Kalitha Foley case, sent some emails to them in Gwinnett County there, Duluth, Georgia. The prosecutor, deputy DA prosecutor, Mr. Delfont, asking him, because Georgia law states Once someone has been arraigned, a court date will be set within a reasonable amount of time. I asked them, what's reasonable? Crickets. You know what that is? Barring that from Willie D. We need an answer on that. Okay, let's get back to Murdaugh because I don't want to mix the two cases. But let's get on back to this here. We need answers though.
Was saying, and if it was the truth, made sense, then that would make sense. But then I ran it the other way, and if what he was saying just didn't add up, then it didn't add up. So I tried to do that with each piece of evidence. I tried to run it both ways as to if it was true and if it wasn't true, if I could rely on it or if I couldn't, and then which one made more sense and which one,
Lisa.
you know, kind of how they were saying about the circumstantial evidence, did it all point to the same conclusion? You know, which one of these, whether it was the truth or whether it wasn't and wasn't reliable.
And, you know, and I know it was getting there. And a lot of times, you know, people will do things strictly for the views. They may not have been covering a murder case initially, you know, but if they see that there's a lot of views in it, then everyone will become engulfed in it. And, oh, everyone all of a sudden wants justice. I mean, it happens. It's all about the views for some people. It is what it is.
Which one points to the conclusion and fits the story better?
How important was Dr. Kinsey's testimony?
He talked about a lot and he's very knowledgeable. I would say that he was, you know, a very big part of the case, as well as, you know, a majority of the team. I found it very interesting, some of the things that he talked about, just because it was things that I was interested in. I think it was very interesting as to how he walked through the crime scene, things that he noticed, things that he really, you know, dug into, and things that really caught his eye. But, you know, whether he was extremely, you know, the biggest part of the case or something like that, I think that he was extremely important and definitely gave us a lot of good information.
Did you ever feel like the prosecution was getting way too into the weeds with financial stuff? That's something that we thought they were getting too into the weeds with. Did that bother you guys? Because sometimes you guys look a little bored when, not you specifically, but some of the jurors.
I will say that it's a whole new experience for me, just for the last part of that question. So I don't think that I was really bored. A lot of times, you know, maybe I was a little uncomfortable for sitting there.
You know, being a juror, you can get tired sitting in that seat. You can't just get up and move. And I've seen jurors actually fall asleep.
There for a while, but I was still interested. I thought that, you know, it's a very interesting situation, very interesting case. But as far as for what your original question was, I don't think they got too far into the weeds.
I hate to keep stopping this, but you see there, Miss Jackie say she did send an email to asking them, the mother sent an email to that freaking prosecutor. What your law, it clearly states, and I'm going to put it, I think I already put it out there on my community tab. After someone has been arraigned, a court date will be set within a reasonable amount of time. Maxwell Williamson deserves his court date. Now, some of you may not know about this case, but that's the mother right there, Jackie Foley. Okay? And this man in the middle here took her life playing with his gun, and the bullet went through the wall. But we'll come back and do that on another, we'll talk about it on a separate video, okay?
Because I don't know. That's a tough one for me to answer.
It's solving cold cases over. This is a cold case.
Evidence.
Khalita Foley.
You know, whether it was just for the motive, the financial stuff doesn't, you know, it's not a factor on whether he was behind the trigger or not, to me. You know, that was something they didn't have to prove. They didn't have to prove motive, but they felt that it was important for us to, you know, see that evidence. So anything that, in my opinion, anything that they put on the table for us to hear, it's important to hear because the judges made the decision that that's important for us to hear. So I personally don't think that they got too far into the weeds, but somebody else may think differently than me.
Sure. Did you have any feelings about the lawyers on both sides? Did you think they were all good, or I mean, did you have any feelings on them about them?
You know, I have a lot of respect for all of them. They all put a lot of hard work and time into the case. I think I would respect all of them. I don't think that I had a favorite. I think that some of them definitely, you know, just had a different style of being a lawyer, and being my first time, you know, sitting in the trial like that, it was just interesting to see how each one of them, what angle they took, how they worked through the case. So, you know, I have a lot of respect for all of them for putting so much time and effort into the case.
You most of you to the sentencing today. Did you all decide as a group to do that?
Yeah, so I think that a lot of us were tired last night. We've spent a long 6 weeks. We weren't able to talk about anything for 6 weeks, and that all came to a point last night. I think that afterwards we all kind of decided that we'd made a very big decision, and we did not want to jump, out there and start talking to people. We decided that we just wanted to kind of chill out and go home for the night. Last night we decided that we were going to ask everybody. If nobody wanted to talk, nobody had to. If people didn't want to come to the sentencing, they didn't have to. But a lot of us did want to stand together. We wanted to go there. We wanted to finish this out as a group. I will say that all the jurors were very incredible people, and we all come from different walks of life, and we were able to bond over the 6 weeks. So a lot of us, some of us had particular reasons why we couldn't be there. And it's not that anybody didn't want to stand together. We were all unified, but certain people just couldn't make it today. But as a group, we did decide that we wanted to come back today. We wanted to finish out the trial, and then we would go from there as far as talking to anybody, or, we wanted to make sure that everybody was comfortable with it and nobody was getting out, in front of themselves or in front of the jury.
What did you think of what he said today? He said, I'm innocent, and Judge Newman kind of had this back and forth with him.
I don't really think that, I was just there to hear what he had to say, but I think that Judge Newman did a very good job of, finishing out the trial, and I think that everything that he said was a very good representation of Judge Newman, and I think that he had a.
Were you surprised that Alec didn't say, I'm sorry for the things that I've done or anything? I mean, he said, I'm innocent. I didn't hurt them or wouldn't hurt them. I mean, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he usually, sometimes a defendant will throw themselves on the mercy of the court.
He had no remorse, just like Tim, till the end. He stood with his story and did not throw himself at the mercy of the court. Tim could have, in the end, going back to Andre Montgomery, who he was found guilty as well, but Tim he's still appealing like he didn't do it. And this man right here told the judge, I'm innocent. I did not harm my wife or my son, Pawpaw. When child, you were at the kennels, you're on the video, you heard moments before they lose their life, just in denial. Just like Tim, why would I hurt my nephew? Boy, please. Dre told his mama if anything happened to him, it would be you.
And, asked for leniency or asked for the lightest sentence. He could have been given 30 years, but there was none of that. Did you have a reaction to that?
I came today to finish out the trial, and, I definitely wanted to hear what he had to say, if he had to say anything. I didn't think that he would say anything.
Because his family, a dynasty there for power, has held power for over 100 years. He's just not used to it, like the judge told him when he sentenced him. Your family been putting folk away for years. Now he's finna go to prison to be with some of them same people.
I think that I thought that he may have felt like he had already said enough. He had already said what he would or would not have done. So I didn't really expect him to say anything. Whenever he did, I took it with a grain of salt.
Your Constitution tie, tell me about that. I mean, why do you have a U.S. Constitution tie?
Well, I don't really own very many ties, but my dad has quite a few. So at the beginning of the trial, I wanted to be a good representation of the community and my peers. So I made it a point to, be presentable and dress nicely every day. So, every once in a while I'd throw in a tie, and this is actually one of my dad's ties, but I felt like it was very fitting for the, trial. So I wore it several times throughout the past 6 weeks, and I felt like today, with the end of it all, it was a very good day to wear something representing our judiciary system.
Yeah, you're a snappy dresser. I noticed it every time I saw you in court. So, I think that's great to show great respect for the court, because there are sometimes people don't always do that. James, is there anything else you'd like to add?
I think that I have quite a few things to say. I think that there was a lot of people that put a lot of time and effort into the case. I have a lot of respect for all of those people. I think they worked very hard, and I think they worked very diligently. I think that some people were put in some tight spots and they didn't want to overstep their boundaries, but they still were able to get their job done ultimately. And I think that came from a lot of help from Paul. I think that as the jurors, we also did have a tough 6 weeks. I think that a lot of credit from that would go to Faith. I think very many times throughout the 6 weeks, we prayed together. We prayed before we went in. We prayed before we came out to give the verdict. I would say that was a huge factor in us being able to sit comfortably with our decision.
So you felt like God was maybe guiding you a little bit?
Absolutely. I think that having clarity of mind and just asking to, allow me to be able to hear what I need to hear.
Yeah, I mean, you saw some really horrible things. Did that affect you?
I think it would affect anybody, but I will say that whenever I'm sitting up there, I try not to think too much about myself, and I try to think about what I need to be seeing. I know that these are important images that I need to be seeing so that I can take in all the evidence.
You know what, Lisa girl, I just don't believe he had that much of an opioid addiction. I just don't think, I think he was using that to get sympathy, to make people think it was the drugs. I just don't believe it.
There might be something that I see that may stick with me, and although it may be gruesome, it's something that has to be seen for Paul and Maggie. I also think that regardless, this is an incredibly difficult time for the family, and I hate it for all of them.
Were you impacted by Buster testifying at all?
Again, whenever I'm up there, I try not to think about myself or how I'm impacted. I just try to listen as closely as I can to everything that they're saying and retain as much information as I can, just so that I can have.
You know what? I don't get Buster there. I mean, did you not love your mama? But sometimes people don't love their mamas. They could care less about their mama. They wouldn't care if their mama was dead or gone. And I guess Buster's one of them. So I'll just retract that statement because, right, some people really don't care about their mamas, and they could care less what happened to them. The mama get deleted or deceased, they may not even go to the funeral.
The most honest and true opinion that I'm capable of having. So, I can't say how I was feeling in the moment or what I thought. I was just taking every single word that they said and trying to.
No, Miss Foley, it wasn't another woman. It was his son that he deleted, had a boat crash that took someone's life in 2019. And then it was the fact that they were losing money. People were finding out they'd been committing crimes, stealing money. It was attorneys stealing people's lost settlements. It was just all about money. It wasn't about no woman or no man. No, it was money. The money is the greed. It was greed. As Angie Danny said, but for the greed of this uncle, but for the greed of the father right here, the son would be alive. Okay.
Pick it apart and make it all fit together and, just really retain all of that information.
And you're feeling okay with, and I'm saying, it sounds like you're very mature for your age, for 22. These are some horrible images that you guys had to see. I didn't get to see them, but I can only imagine given what we were told was on the images. How are you feeling? Are you I know you're probably still decompressing from this.
We spoke earlier. I think that a lot of the jurors were going to need more time to just really get a grasp on that it's over. We're done with the trial and now we have to get back to our lives. I think that it'll take a bit more time to really know how we're all feeling. But at the moment, I'm just, I'm secure in my decision, and there were definitely some awful things that we had to look at and that we had to see. And some of those may stick with some of the jurors and all the jurors for a very, very long time. They were definitely not something that you see every day and something that you hope to never have to see or something that you hope never happened. But it's just going to, take time for a lot of people, I'm sure.
And you said, you had to do this for Maggie and Paul. Do you feel like you have a clear idea of what happened that night?
I do, just based off of the evidence. And, obviously there's some differing opinions from different witnesses and stuff. But I do think that being able to see all of the evidence, hear all the witnesses.
My brother Mario watched this entire thing too. Was that brought up in court? This is a legend. But you know, wow, that's a little because he does have a girlfriend who just finished. Not that matters. Who just finished law school or whatever, just passed her bar. Huh? I had not heard that part. I've not heard that part of the story. But people are free to love who they want.
And just seeing where everything played out, being able to go out there to the actual crime scene itself, and you're able to see how close proximity, and you're able to see different little things that maybe weren't pointed out in by any of the witnesses or any of the, you know, prosecution defense. You're able to kind of picture it, and you're able to kind of see what happened. And that kind of goes back to earlier whenever you were asking if I think that he told any truth whenever he was on the stand. And I think that it makes sense for him to go down there on the golf cart. I don't think that he went down there originally with them. So, you know, that's one of the parts of the truth that he, I believe, filtered in with most of the lie.
Do you think he, you know, do you think it was true that Maggie wanted him to come and he said no? Do you think there was a confrontation about the pills? And do you have any thoughts?
Well, that kind of goes to another question that you had asked earlier
I'll find it.
about him on the stand and things that he said. So that was one thing that I kind of noticed is he's up there and he's talking a lot. Oftentimes the prosecution would just let him run with it. Whenever he started to say something, they just wouldn't say much and they would let him build on it and build on it. And whenever he was talking about whether she was going to come or whether she wasn't, he had mentioned that there had been prior testimony that any time that she was going to be going to the beach, that she was going to be taking the dogs. So he used that and he said that she didn't have the dogs. So she was obviously planning on coming back to Moselle, but she was going to a doctor's appointment. And I know that you can't take your dogs into the doctor's office and she's not going to leave them in the hot car. So I don't really think that proves anything. And they were also having work done down there at Edisto. You don't want your dogs running around the house whenever you've got work going on down there. So there was just some little things like that didn't really add up. You know, he was trying, I felt like he was trying to put something in there to solidify his story, but really it was just kind of a little bit more questionable.
Do you think that Maggie was using the hose in the final video and he got the chicken from Bubba? I mean, do you have any thoughts on what you think happened?
You know, we don't have a dead set time on when everything happened as far as after the video. We know there's a period of time between whenever that video ends and whenever he picks up his phone at the house. So I think that I hear a hose in the background whenever they're taking that video. And I know that Alec is calling for Bubba. So I do think that Maggie was probably washing out the dog pens. And I think that he was getting the chicken. And that was another part of his testimony is he was saying, you know, Bubba is running up to me. He's wanting to show me the chicken. He's wanting to give it to me. He's proud of it. But at the same time, you hear him holler for Bubba 2 to 3 times in the video. It doesn't really seem like he's, you know, running up to him. It kind of seems like he's having to call him to him. And I know that I've got several dogs, and there are dogs that are happy and they want to run around with it themselves, you know. So that just small things like that. Like I said, I was listening to every word and I was trying to just make it make sense. And there's some things that are just like, well, that doesn't really make sense with what I saw in the video, or that doesn't make sense with what I heard here, things like that.
Do you think he tossed the phone out when they think he did that night?
You know, I'm not sure. I think that he had the phone at some point in time, and there was debate on whether it would turn on or whether it wouldn't. And we have no idea how he threw the phone. We have no idea whether he was holding it in his hand the whole time and had it turned off. We don't know, but it makes sense to me for him to have thrown the phone.
James, I don't want to keep you any longer. I really appreciate it. Anything else you want to add?
Do you mind if I ask?
Yeah, sure.
So do you think if he hadn't taken the stand, do you think it would, like, how did him testifying sort of affect things for you guys? Is it possible that maybe it would have left? I mean,
So she's asking him, had Alec not taken the stand and not testified, would it have altered their maybe verdict? So let's listen and see what this juror number, I think it was 530, had to say.
did you see it been a not guilty verdict if he hadn't taken the stand? I'm trying to kind of understand how that played into it. Did that like solidify things in your mind, or?
Yes, thank you.
I think it was an aspect, and I think it was a part of the trial, but I don't think it was the make or break point, and I don't think that it was a situation where if he didn't take the stand, he wouldn't have been found guilty. I think that there was enough evidence there gathered by SLED and produced by Paul that it was there. He was there. And I think that we all, had enough evidence there that whenever we went and deliberate, there was enough there whether he got on the stand or not.
Without the kennel video, do you think there was enough there?
I'm not sure because there was the kennel video. And, like I said, I made my decision at the end of the trial whenever I had all the evidence. So, I'd have to go all the way back to the beginning and forget everything I knew and then go without the kennel video to be able to make that call. There was a lot of evidence, and I just know that was a part of it and a crucial part of it. And I think that who it was provided by spoke a lot.
Did the Moselle visit take you more toward guilty or not guilty, and why?
So again, like I said earlier, I waited until the end to make my decision. But whenever I'm at the end and I'm, thinking about all this evidence, there was parts that I noticed at the Moselle property that, were evident to me that solidified my answer of guilty. There was a lot of question about. So there was a lot of questioning about the second shot to Paul. And to me, the way that it was described and the way that it was portrayed, it just didn't look right. But what did make sense to me, and something that I'd made note of before we went to the Moselle property, because I didn't know that we were going to the Moselle property, but I was curious, is that, for one, I think that he would have been looking at Paul. And whenever we get out there, it's a very tight room. And there is about a 1 to 1.5 inch threshold at the base of that door. I think if he's looking at Paul and he's just shot a buckshot, which if you're...
Can you imagine he was there with his wife and son and they were staring at him knowing what he was about to do? Just like when Andre got out of that car with Terica, he knew the moment he saw Travell, he knew he had been found finally. Tim had finally gotten the people to him. So you can imagine being in this kennel, this place where they were, where Alex took the life of his wife and son. It says they feel, the family has that town on lock as well. They did, but it's not on that lock is breaking. Break every chain, that chain is breaking because he was convicted. He thought he would never be convicted.
If you're not firm, it can rock you pretty good. I think he could have been unbalanced, and I think he could have tripped over that threshold, and that puts him on the ground shooting upward as Paul's coming out. And I think that makes sense to me for the angle of the shot.
Okay, and one more question. Is this okay, Amaya? Okay, why do you think he did it?
Why do you think he did it?
I don't think like that. I don't have the capability of thinking to be able to do something like that. So I don't think that I'd ever be able to answer why somebody would do something like that. I think that there is a lot of contributing factors that somebody could throw in, and we heard a lot throughout the trial, but I still think there's more that we haven't heard, and there still may be more that nobody knows about. I think that it doesn't make sense to do that, but I know that there's people in the world that don't make sense, and they do things without making it make sense. So I don't know that there is an answer other than that it happened and that it shouldn't have. I think we can all agree on that.
Well, he made a good point. You just can't get into someone's mind, especially a weird mind like that. My. Okay, yeah, we're going to go 2 hours today because this is a lot of coverage, and hey, we're going to have to get it in one way or the other. So we're going to go another 40 minutes because I have some more stuff that I want to present and review. Now, let me find it, y'all. Hold on a minute. Okay. Yes. Miss Lorraine, I believe Miss Lorraine sent me this one. Okay. Body cam footage of Alex Murdaugh on the night of the murks. Okay.
I know that's somebody. I know that's what it is.
Okay. When did you get home? Right when you called, or did you go to the house first? Where is the house?
I came to the house first. My mom has late stages Alzheimer's, and my dad is in the hospital.
Okay.
I left. I don't know what time. I can go back on my phone and tell you the exact times. Did you check?
Okay. Did I check what?
Did you check them?
We got medical guys that are that's
Now this is the night of the murking. This is him. So he's changed shirts, because if he did it and this is the same night, where is that shirt would have something on it? And I know that's in a Snapchat video or something like that. We're gonna look at that too eventually. But this is the night, and he's acting all upset, this, that, and the other. But this is body cam footage from the police department there.
that's what they're gonna do. Okay.
What are they
For
doing?
learning
Did
and
they
teaching
hurry?
purposes
They are.
only.
Yes, sir. That gentleman that was out here already, he's one of the battalion chiefs. Okay. How did you pull up? You from back there?
I went to the house and they weren't home, which was odd. I tried to call,
Okay.
and then I knew they had been down here before I left to go to my mom.
Okay.
And so that is loaded.
Okay.
You might want to unload it. But I mean,
You hear
Is
him
this the only
tell
firearm?
officer that gun is loaded. Look at him. Now look at him standing over there, knowing what he just did. Look at him. Because he's saying he just got there, which no, we have a recording of you there with the young man that he recorded on his phone moments before his life was taken.
With you?
About to it, sir.
This is the only one, or is there any more in the truck?
I believe that's it.
You think that's the only one? Okay.
I'm 99%.
Do you normally
certain that's
have
right.
any other firearms in your vehicle?
I don't, but
Okay.
occasionally there's a pistol in there.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Just wait right here for me for a second, okay?
Look how he looking. Look at him.
Copy.
Kill your front lights, I can't see.
I have not seen this yet, guys.
Enjoy it, sir.
Yeah, well, I've already spoken with Captain Deal. He's got crime scene. He's contacted them. He's also going to give us the assistance of a couple of field agents.
Roger that. No.
Even checking,
They
they're dead.
come out.
They are dead, aren't
I
they?
just turn on those.
Yes, sir. That's what it looks like.
Randy. Maggie's collar, man. Where are you now? All right. Yeah, the police are here now. The police are here now.
Affirmative.
That's my brother.
Okay. When was the last time you were here with them, or talked to them, or anything like that?
It was earlier tonight. I don't know the exact time, but
Okay.
I left. I was probably gone an hour and a half from my mom's, and I saw them about 45 minutes before that.
Okay.
I rode around with Paul for 2 hours this afternoon in the pickup truck.
That's your son, Paul? Okay.
Somebody going to check him?
Yes, sir. They've already checked them.
They did check him?
Yes, sir.
It's official that they're dead?
Yes, sir. That's what it looks like.
Like he's wanting confirmation. Is someone's gonna check him? So it's official that they're deleted. He wanted it to be official. He wanted them gone. He wanted Paul gone because Paul had that boating accident. It was just bringing too much heat on the family. And Maggie probably was, I don't know. I just don't know. But I know he deleted his wife and his son. Woo. You hear him say, is it official? There are no tears.
I'm sorry.
No. You're
You
fine.
ain't crying.
I'm very sorry. Gotta call her parents.
What's her name?
Her name's Maggie Murdaugh. Margaret Brandstetter Murdaugh.
Yeah, it was all her property.
How you doing?
What's her birthday?
9/15/68.
Okay. And what's your son's first name? You said Paul?
Paul Terry Murdaugh.
And what's his birthday?
Jason, do you have anybody
4.
coming through town that could stop and pick up that tent? I see lighting off in the distance.
What are they covering them up?
I got some getting dressed now, Sheriff. I'll have somebody stop and grab it.
Tell them they don't have to do that. They don't need to. Preserve what we can.
653. Where's it at? I'm in town.
Yeah, they let him
I
have
should
free
try to
reign.
be able to 8 because he's going to be the only one that's got access.
What's
to where
Paul's
it is
birthday?
right now.
Copy.
April 14th, 1999, sir.
Put it up as wide as you can. That's fine. You said 99?
Wow, he took
Sir?
his
He was
long.
born in 99?
He's born April 14th, 1999.
Okay. What's your first name, sir?
My name is Alex Richard Alexander Murdaugh.
Richard Alexander Murdaugh?
And this police officer that's questioning him, he know who the Murdaughs are. That's why he's been able to walk all over this crime scene. And that shirt was just as white as I don't know what. Where's the dirty shirt?
You familiar with the location?
No.
Sure.
Hey,
Be affirmative.
Cody,
It's what I'm thinking.
come around the
Been out
truck
there before.
and then go to the building. Come around the truck and then,
There's a set of prints also behind the trailer there.
yes.
I don't know if it's from
What's
one of
that?
ours or not. There's a set of footprints behind the trailer there too.
Okay.
That's how we kind of step out around this whole here, so we can step over anything.
55-3, 4-3. Just 8's going to be the last one in and grabbing the 10. So we can- 35.
Just go over to that corner of the building.
Yeah, I'm almost to you. Let me see what we have first and whether or not we're going to handle that part or not.
I see quite a few tire tracks in here. Were any of these you going in and out?
No, I came in here and I left one time and I came back.
Okay.
The rest of them, maybe
Okay.
from earlier, but
Okay.
only 2
That's
of mine.
what privilege gets
Did
you.
you go
Look
out
at it,
this
just
way at all?
walking around.
No.
Anybody else been under arrest? I'm sorry.
Hey, stay. Got a whole bunch of stuff right there. I don't want to disturb.
And then if I try to get the door, so we can kind of get around that way.
He got on that
The
white.
best way is probably going to be back through those rocks because we can't get any tracks off.
Going
the
home after doing what he has just done.
Thank you.
You have name or anything for him?
Yes.
Okay, I'll get that in a little bit then. That's
Okay.
fine.
What unit's 23 on those up?
Alpha 7 unit on scene. Are you behind the house?
There's several of us out here. There's a long dirt driveway right next to the mailbox that says 4147, and you'll see all our lights down here, this shed thing.
You ain't come through Brick Hollow.
Negative.
This is Alex Murdaugh. This is the night of the crime. This is the crime scene. And he was there.
9 on duty, en route to Mobile.
And that's why he was convicted. Family Dynasty.
Delta 8653. Telephone City.
Yeah. I think his brother. He said he was calling somebody. So. He said he was calling somebody.
They just letting him run around, use the phone.
There's a couple of shell casings right there.
Yeah, those will be easy to find. I was just marking a couple that were in the ground where it might be harder.
Those shell casings, that's what the juror was talking about.
Y'all familiar with this family?
Yes. I wasn't until he told me the names. Last
Fill you
name
in later.
Murdaugh.
Y'all hear him asking, are y'all familiar with the family? He said, I wasn't until they told me the name, Murdaugh. They were afraid of the Murdaughs, okay?
I don't.
Anything else you need?
I don't think there's gonna be anything for me.
What is that?
Because that's a.
You said for Evo to do?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Hey, watch your step. Huh?
That's all we have to
There are.
Yeah.
Okay.
X-ray one's gonna be in Rosedale Road.
The gentleman in the white shirt is the husband of her, father of him. That is Paul Murdaugh. This is his mother. Paul Murdaugh was that guy in the boating accident from a while back, if you remember.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, let me go back.
What is that?
Because that's a.
You said for Evo to do?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Hey, watch your step.
He mentions the boating accident. It's all connected.
Huh?
That's all we have to
There are.
Yeah.
Okay.
X-ray one's gonna be in Rosedale Road.
The gentleman in the white shirt is the husband of her, father of him. That is Paul Murdaugh. This is his mother. Paul Murdaugh was that guy in the boating accident from a while back, if you remember.
He said that's Paul Murdaugh. He was the guy from that boating accident a while back, if you remember. Now that boating accident can go away for Paul because that was putting a lot of heat on that family. And that's one reason, I think that's the main reason the daddy took his life. Just my opinion, allegedly.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter, he's guilty. Hello, Shanti.
Most likely.
Yeah, Bron.
He did have a firearm whenever I pulled up. It's a shotgun. It's been secured in my vehicle.
He hit them guns good.
300 blackout.
When you get a chance, can you give dispatch phone call?
You will have to give me just a few minutes, but yes, I will.
We're going to finish this tape and we'll stop here for the day.
Yeah.
653.
Who can start a log? Who's the most expendable that can start a log? Let's put it that way.
This is. Can you start a crime scene log, please?
A log started. Sled's on the way. Let's push. Can we run the tape
2007 for
there to there?
Yeah.
Yes.
From that last
tape,
pole
go
right
start
there.
a log.
to that last
Get a
poll.
piece of paper, start writing names and times.
Oh yeah.
You don't have any kind of paper?
Have a it's got notes and everything on it.
Here, borrow that.
We can push it from that pole to that pole.
Yep.
This is the night of the crime, guys.
I do see some. That look old or fresh? Old, yes.
Taping it up, guys. This was the crime scene. That was the night. And Alex was there and thought he was going to get away with it.
Go away to that post. Marty, let's just keep our fingers crossed. Yeah, I think we got it.
There's 3 other responding units to Moselle Road, stop at the road.
Yep.
No one else come down the dirt road. Stop at the road.
Those cops were intimidated. You could hear those cops were intimidated by that name Murdaugh. I'm surprised they was able to actually get this verdict because these people have held power there for over 100 years. It's just been the Murdaugh. It was their family that was running things. Oh yeah, they had an image to uphold. And they were really just some two-bit thieves, crooks.
That's 077. Probably doing that 66 on 95. Copy.
What's the other way up here?
From back that way, I guess. Where the house is, I guess.
Okay. Must
You referring to the Whiskey Mike? Last walk with a key. Affirmative. Do we have anything else?
That was God and that son speaking from the dead, from the grave, got that man convicted. Them videos, Snapchat. Yep.
Oh, you want the times and people's names?
Correct.
And if you guys want to say anything about this case, call the Social Justice Hotline, 501-542-2542.
I'm using the back
Thank
side
you.
of all the paper, so all the front side of the paper has names and information on it.
Well, you can borrow mine for a minute. It's perfectly fine, Cody.
I just didn't want you to go, we're doing loads of doing fucking paper. I have paper for calls.
Do you not have any crime scene log sheets? Hey, it's 717. I was asked to give you guys a call.
They don't have no crime scene log sheets. They don't know how to do the reports. These people here, they not used to walking up onto a double homicide, I'm sure. So I understand.
Hi. Okay. Okay. I will inquire and I'll get back to you. Okay. All right. I'll find out and give you a call back. Yep. I'll find out from him and give you a call back. All right. Bye.
That's right, I'm gonna grab a couple.
Well, I got some right here, Jason.
Hey, you want us to close that in?
Sir. Was that?
You want us to close it in?
Yeah. There's a guy in here. I don't know if you want me to what the other guy knows, whoever Eric is. Here's the caller. There's a guy over here that's wanting to talk to him.
Don't even know who Eric
A lot of
is.
what he
I know
did.
Alex over there.
Alex.
Okay.
My bad.
Oh yeah,
Over
he's
here,
a
don't-
liar,
Yeah,
a
but I don't know
cheater.
if you want me to tell him that or if you want me to just chill for a minute.
That family dynasty had been stealing money
He does not need
For-
to go over there.
No,
for years.
He does not need to go over there.
And the roosters, what is it? The roosters came home to roost.
Gotcha.
I don't have the caller and the caller's brother's name over here because I don't know the names yet, but I can get it. But I didn't.
I already wrote it in there.
All right. I don't know where you were at. I just found the first empty page I can find.
Female victim, male caller.
And then the other guy, though, I mean, he hasn't came inside the tape yet.
Then don't have to worry about him. Just make sure you get the here.
File for me and you and all of us got here.
Oh my God.
Is that what you're about to say?
Yes.
Again, if you're just joining and just stopping by, we are now watching body cam footage of Alex Murdaugh on the night of the murders of his wife and son. Okay, this is out at the crime scene. The police are there. They're taping up the scene. They barely know what they're doing, but they're trying to get it done. Okay. Yeah, just like Tim. You want a new trial just like Tim, child.
I came on scene at 22:26.
22:26?
Yes.
Yep.
And whoever U21 is with fire rescue, just write U21, fire rescue U21.
Yep.
And then
That was the same time as you?
he came on scene. Yeah, same time as me. It's fine.
But did he really get there at the same time as him? He just said that's
Medic
fine.
18 at 22:27. .758 on scene 22:30. Same time as you.
Yep.
653 on scene at 22:39.
22:39?
Yep. That's all I have as far as times on this goes.
Central. Copy. When you're clear, I have a call on Majestic of a suspicious vehicle. Copy. Where's that located? It's 223 Majestic Way in Titusville. 10-4. there's a Cottersville unit that can assist, that'd be great.
Pretty sure Majestic Oaks is there. Anyway.
Center 505. I believe that's not their station anyway. I'll take care of that.
Thank you, Lisa girl. Yeah, just watch the replay of the ending. That goes for anybody. You don't have to catch me live. Watch the replay and hit the like button and leave a comment. Thank you.
23 Majestic Oaks.
I'm trying to get the information. It's a gray Trailblazer. Correction. It's unknown what type of vehicle. She has a gray Trailblazer in her yard that belongs to her. She says she can only see the tail lights of the vehicle. She is also currently a user on fossil. It happened about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, well, I'm in there. You can tell us what to go down possibly.
Yes, sir. We're going to discuss it later and find out.
Okay, just I'll make sure I didn't miss something.
Nope.
Well, the dad's over there. Actually, hold on. Some people just won't do it.
Fire rescue might have some more sheets we can
That's
steal.
That's right. It shouldn't be.
They covered. Oh, that's the body. Oh my goodness.
His wall.
I'm glad they covered that out. Wow. We don't want to see that.
I don't think you know further than 300 block out on the way.
Not unless it's the shortest 300 blackouts ever been made. I don't think he put that phone back.
I haven't asked the dad about the phone, but dad did say he came over and checked their pulses. Beyond that, I don't know what else he may have done.
He went over there and checked their pulses. He wanted to make sure he had did his job, and he was probably trying to get his son's phone too.
He did have a shotgun with him, and I have secured that in my vehicle.
Look, they over there. They're like, he had a shot. They know he did it. They know he did it. They knew right then the man did it.
Yeah, but that's
the water right there.
Yep.
So
I've got multiple gunshots out of that window too.
do we see a shell?
At least 3.
A shell.
Oh, he thought he was gonna get away with it, y'all. Yes, Sherry.
Yes.
He had the gall to check their pulse, people.
like if they exit multiple times and come back in.
You don't
Yeah, I'm just learning all of this because I didn't cover it when it was live.
Yeah.
So hey, I'm learning a lot of this stuff right now. My. A fall from grace. Hey, Tay's Kitchen. Yes. I'm covering it just like you asked, Tay. We may be going back in time, but we're gonna talk about this, honey. I mean, this here is just took their pulse. How dare he? There's the kennel. I guess that's the kennels. I don't know.
Just so you know, I've got at least 5 holes in the window in the back of that shed where rounds were exiting out back that way.
Which is going to be because of water.
He says 5 holes when him shooting into the wall there, back there.
It is currently in my vehicle.
Okay, Ty. I might be saying it wrong. Take your time. We ain't going nowhere. About another 10 minutes and we gonna end it up for the day. I bet it was. See, those state trials you can see on TV, not federal.
How many pellets are normally in a buckshot?
10, 12.
They talking about pellets and
The reason I ask
buckshots.
is
I don't
because the
have a
holes that are
clue.
in that window, very large.
It was glass.
Some of them larger, some of them smaller.
You need it in wood or something solid.
There's a whole bunch of trees back there, so they might be able to find something in a tree. I don't know. Well,
I have no clue, but
he
here's
had
what
a shotgun.
Huh?
He had a shotgun. But
Look how that man looking. They say he had a shotgun. They looking like they know he did it. Look at them officers looking. But they scared of the Murdaughs. That name, that family dynasty. But that dynasty is crumbling, honey.
Not his actual
So you cut it apart and then it's contact with any.
It's on the ceiling. Your shot had enough to hit.
This is what the family dynasty looked like.
Appreciate it.
That would point to suicide. That doesn't explain her or all the freedom.
If you listen closely, they're talking about it can't be suicide. He was like, that doesn't explain, trying to say it was a suicide. They was like, that won't explain something. They were really trying to put it together right then and there.
That's what I'm saying.
possible.
Yeah, that's the outlier.
Yeah, that and the dozen.
Wow, he switched up the guns, trying to be smart.
Is there a casing under this, or is it just chilling there? Okay, that's just chilling there. That's just trash. Oh, stop. It's okay, I got it. Okay, appreciate you, Chad.
Those over there are not trash.
Correct.
I think this is where Cody would try to tie that back together for his initial area.
Gotcha. Welcome back to night shift.
Oh, that's terrible. wish I didn't know.
Mm-mm.
I have to bury a child. I'm gonna bury a child. Ain't no wife.
7877. Copy, go. Good. Concord Ferry and Jacksonville Road.
I'm gonna clear up if I'm not.
Got a report of people.
Don't think I need you.
Where are
Pickup
you at?
truck in the ditch with the flashes
Yeah,
on.
You see that how they got it
Advised they didn't see anyone around the vehicle.
covered over there? Those are the bodies.
After the church.
That's the actual crime scene. How it's blurred, shall I say?
Yes, sir. You shot him. He hit word. It is currently in the passenger seat of my
From the
Tyler.
46 northbound.
Yes, sir. That's exactly what it's saying. It was leaning up against the truck right there whenever I grabbed it. Okay.
787.
I haven't even touched it to clear it. It's
You know,
fully loaded, still sitting there.
he's awful
73
confident.
and the long ETA.
It's really dark, you can't really see nothing. He's awful confident, being caught with the gun there on the crime scene, thinking he was gonna really get away with this. He thought that name was gonna carry him.
Before arrest, fire rescue. They're gonna block. I just want to check the CID and make
They're
sure.
bringing temps or something, or what are they doing?
I'm not sure what they want.
We really don't need any more fire rescue unless. I believe it was because he said he was calling his brother.
And he's able to just walk around. Anybody else would have been apprehended and handcuffed and started being questioned. You're found there with the two dead bodies. It's the privilege for me. But they did find him guilty. Y'all know this is after the fact, but look how much leverage he was given in the beginning. Come on now. Uncle John from around the way wouldn't have got that.
Yes.
Over here.
He should go hunting on Moscow. What do you want him to go hunting out there for? To look for some evidence or something? What the heck? Child. Mosel. Is it, how you pronounce it? Mosel?
Yeah, that's right.
You know, they was just out there with them two bodies. Ugh. Thank you, Shania. I know it's like I say, we're going
Do you
back
need
in
me to lift the
time.
sheet at all so you can see closer to her body?
Oh my goodness.
How old? No, Cody's got my notebook where I had her date of birth in there. I don't remember what the guy told me off the top.
Now mind y'all, the two bodies are just out there just
But I think
on the
somewhere
ground.
around mid-40s, I think. Mm-hmm.
So this is where it started right here as far as the murking. But also the son that was murked was the cause of someone's demise from a boating accident. We talked about that at the beginning. Which he can't be tried for now because even it's woo, and he was the driver of the boat. Mallory lost her life.
Or did it look like she was a her head? Looked like a shotgun or what? That I couldn't tell. There was a big old hole coming out the back of her head. And hair all over the place, so it looked like it probably went in and then came out. his looks more like the top of his head.
The round one him had a big wad behind it, so it was a shotgun.
I mean, there's a whole bunch of 300. There's 300 blackout shell casings there, 3 of them right there, and then inside is a shotgun wadding, but we did not see a shotgun shell anywhere.
Which almost leads you
What
to
kind of
shoot
shotgun
us.
do you
Put in your truck.
I believe it's a 12 gauge. No, no. I don't.
They're just talking about the types of guns.
May still be used.
And you look at these cops, they all just look, they know he's guilty, but he's a Murdaugh. He's a Murdaugh, so they've got to treat him with respect, even though his wife and son laying on the ground. Look at him.
That would answer the question.
Was there any blood? I didn't look super closely at it. I was more concerned with getting it away from him and
But if he's stretched out because it went in here, it took everything out the top. With a pump shotgun, he's got. I guess if he fell, but both his hands were laying underneath his abdomen when he fell forward, which makes sense. He's got to reach down and do that, yeah, because he'd have to hold it. Yeah,
right there, that very first one with the blue lights.
I think they're talking about the son.
This front one right here.
And this is about the end.
The wadding is right there.
They got it blurred out, thank goodness. Keep it blurred out.
I lied, it's not a pump.
Yes, he is, Rooster.
Yeah, it did have some dirt on the barrel.
There's the weapon. One of them, I guess.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't a pump. I thought it was, but it's not a pump. It's automatic. All right.
got one on the ride.
Am I okay to discontinue this?
Yes. They're gonna discontinue. So that was it, guys. They treated him a totally different way because his name is Murdaugh. Yeah, I mean it is what it is. I'm looking for one other thing, guys. Let me see if I can find it here. Yeah. We're going to listen to a little bit more of this. We have to stop the other.
Assume, at least the lawyers assume, that if they weren't going to do something, they would just let it sit. But I mean, I don't get my hopes up, you know, but they seem to have their hopes up. I hear you.
It would seem that Dick and Jim did get Alex's hopes up over nothing. Spoiler alert. The Supreme Court denied the writ of habeas corpus in January after Judge Lee set Alex bond at...
Right, I did. Yes, I did misspeak. The weapon, someone said he probably done threw him away. So I don't know why he was holding that gun, probably to make it look like he was trying to find who did it. The weapons have not, the actual weapons that he used have not been recovered. Thank you, Taste Kitchen, for reminding me.
$7 million. It is interesting to note that Dick and Jim thought they had a shot with the Supreme Court, and it makes you wonder why they had that assurance. Anyways, on a phone call, Buster then tells Alec that John Marvin is trying to get his guns back from the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, also known as SLED.
What else did he tell John?
John said that he was going to talk to me about something, but said he'd rather talk to me about it in person. That's probably what it was.
No, that wouldn't be it. That wouldn't make sense. Why you want to talk to you about that in person?
But mostly, I've had John calling David Owens every day to try to get my guns back. And prior to Thanksgiving, David Owens said that we could have them back, and then today he said we couldn't have them back. So that's what John was calling to tell me. And then he called and told Jim what David Owens said about not being able to get them.
I wonder why.
John said that he used the language out of an abundance of caution. And then John said, well, have you not run the ballistics on them? And apparently he was like, no, we have. And he was like, well, were these guns used in the crime? And they were like, no. And I was like, and he was like, well, why can't we have them back? So I don't know. I've just been trying to get some of my stuff back.
From this conversation, it sounds like Alec is trying to sell off expensive tools and machinery so that the victims can't claim them as assets. In October, Alec's brother Randy filed a lawsuit claiming that Alec owed him $90,000 and wrote in the suit that he had been paid back in part by equipment that Buster had signed over to him.
Hey, John Marvin needs to go. You know that vacuum packer that John Marvin lent us that's in the skinny shed?
No, that huge one?
Yeah. He needs to go pick that up.
Okay.
He before they, take it like, think it's mine.
Yeah.
Paul had borrowed it. And there's a bunch of John Marvin's tools in the shop. I told him he needs to get out. All those Milwaukee tools, all those jacks, all that stuff Paul borrowed. And I borrowed a lot of it too.
Yeah, we're gonna go. We're gonna be down in Greenfield this weekend hunting quail, and he talked about going over the Moselle and getting some of that stuff.
Then Alec starts asking questions about Blanca. According to sources, Blanca was Maggie's housekeeper at the Edisto Beach House, where Maggie was staying by herself before the murders.
Next time you're on the phone.
I'll have a pen and paper.
But she's got a
call
specific
Blanca
address.
for me?
No, I still haven't called Blanca. I keep forgetting to call Blanca.
Okay, do you want me to get somebody else to do it?
No, I mean, I'm fine to do it. It's just, I don't know. For some reason, I keep forgetting.
Okay, well, are you going to remember for me? Because I'd like to call her soon. And I don't mind getting somebody else to do it. I know you got a lot going on.
No, I mean, do you have Blanca's number?
No, that's what I said. I told you I got to get her number, and I wanted you to let her know I'm going to be calling and make sure that she's good with that, number one. And number two, kind of tell her what she's got to do.
Simple. Okay, well, yeah, I'll reach out.
Will you please do that in the morning?
Yes.
And will you please tell her that I'd asked you to do it before Thanksgiving and you just had a lot going on and forgot?
Yep.
You promise?
I promise I'm going to try, bro.
All right. I just
I feel confident that I should remember tomorrow.
I know you had said you didn't really want to, she had irritated you, and if you don't want to call her, I promise you I'll get Lizzie or Grandma or somebody else.
So we don't know what's going on here, but Alec seems really determined to get a hold of Blanca. From our sources, we know that Alec seeks to control the narrative, and he puts himself square in the face of people he's trying to persuade or even just monitor. Before he was in jail, Alec was known for having sit-down talks with people who might have a reason to be upset with him or his family. These sit-downs, according to my sources, were a classic manipulation tactic that Alec frequently used. Alec then changes the subject to apparently one of his favorite topics, Buster's future in law school.
Did you get back from the dean?
No, I was checking my email all day today. I emailed him beginning of this week, and I haven't heard back. I emailed him and
Hold on. You did what?
I emailed him and I CC'd the associate dean, and I haven't heard back yet.
Okay, if you don't hear it today, this is Monday. You did it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Tomorrow, you might just shoot a follow-up.
Yeah, I mean, if I don't hear from him, I'm definitely
trying to get it to work on
tomorrow.
And if I don't hear from him, I might get in touch with Butch to see if you can call him and say that I've been trying to get in touch with him.
All right.
Is Butch paid all the money that he was owed?
Yes.
Okay.
Up front, and it was up front, and it was $30,000 up front and 30.
I know with a contingency on if it was successful. I'm just making sure I don't want to call him if he not have the shit he has. It was straight up.
So they're talking about him paying money to get back into school. He's trying to get his license back. We're gonna finish up this tape probably tomorrow. It's at 28 minutes. It goes through 58 minutes, but we'll finish that up. We've been on for now over 2 hours, so I'm gonna get off, but we will continue to cover this murder, revisiting the murder trial, the family history, the dynamics, the fall of this legal dynasty, the boating accident that Paul was driving the boat in 2019. Mallory lost her life, and now he can't be tried, and it's just a sad situation. They've speculated that He wanted to take the heat off of him. He was getting caught in all these different schemes. We're going to talk about the young man where they were like, what happened to his money? Then I think the young man is deceased now. It's so much you can get lost. It's so many things that he's done. Okay, it's so much. You can actually get lost. You listen to them, watch all the documents. The family had the town scared of them. I bet they did. Those police, they were looking like they just didn't know what to do. They knew they needed to probably handcuff him, but they were afraid. Everyone have a great Sunday. Yes, y'all have a rest of a good Sunday. It's 4:00. Enjoy your evening. I hope you had a good meal cooked today. And I will see y'all back real soon. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. Murdaugh Legal Dynasty falls. Okay. Social justice over here. Justice for Kalitha. Remember, we need to find out what Georgia considers a reasonable amount of time after someone's been arraigned to get a trial date. Are they going to give me that answer? They're not going to keep ignoring me. I need to know what do you all think a reasonable amount of time is real quick? Can someone drop that in the chat? What's a reasonable amount of time? How many months? A year? What do you think a reasonable amount of time is after you've been arraigned for murking somebody? I'm just curious real quick. Thank you, kids. Thanks you for all coming over. I sure do, honey. You know I do. Thank you, Tay. You have a good one too. Anybody gonna put anything? Have a great week. Yeah, y'all have a great work week. Justice for Kalitha Foley, Gwinnett County, Sarah Gardner. Ask Sarah. Sarah, can you tell us what's a reasonable amount of time? We just want to know. All right. Nobody's going to put it in there. I'll talk to y'all later. Thanks for watching. Okay. I appreciate the support. All right. Have a good one.